Imagine waking up every single day, feeling stuck in the same life, working hard, but getting nowhere, watching others grow while you stay exactly where you are. Now imagine this. What if the problem isn't your job, isn't your luck, but something much deeper? This is the story of Rayan, a young man who felt lost, confused, and tired of living the same routine. Until one simple lesson changed everything. A lesson about money, discipline, and a secret most people never understand. Stay till the end, because this story might completely change the way you see success. Long ago, in a peaceful and quiet town, there lived a young man named Rayan. He was 25 years old, full of dreams, yet trapped in a life that felt repetitive and unchanging. Every single morning, as the sun slowly rose and light filled his small room, Rayan would open his eyes with the same question echoing in his mind. When will my life finally change? His days were predictable. He spent long, exhausting hours working in a tiny grocery store on the corner of a crowded street. The job was simple, but tiring. He earned just enough to cover his basic needs, paying bills, buying food, and if he was lucky, saving a small amount by the end of the month. Rayan was not lazy. He was not irresponsible. In fact, he worked harder than most people around him. But despite all his effort, his life seemed stuck in the same cycle. Same job, same income, same slow progress. Sometimes, while organizing products on dusty shelves or stacking boxes in the storage room, he would quietly whisper to himself, "There has to be another way. This can't be it. My money grows too slowly. Maybe I'm missing something important." Deep inside, Rayan had a strong desire to understand how successful people built wealth without constantly exhausting themselves. He wanted to learn new skills, to create something meaningful, and most importantly, to reach a point where his money could work for him, not the other way around. But there was one problem. His motivation was unstable. Some days he felt powerful, full of energy, ready to change his life completely. He would make plans, set goals, and promise himself a better future. But the next day, that fire would disappear. He would feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated. He kept starting new things and then stopping halfway. He kept dreaming, but never fully committing. This pattern continued for months, until one Sunday morning, Rayan woke up feeling different, not excited, not motivated, but tired of thinking, tired of overthinking, tired of going in circles. That day, he made a decision. He decided to visit someone he had heard about many times before, Mr. Domen, a wealthy and respected man who lived in a nearby village. People often spoke about him with admiration. They said he owned lands, shops, and several small businesses. But what made him truly different was this: he always seemed calm, relaxed, never stressed. It was as if his money worked for him even while he slept. Curious and hopeful, Rayan made his way to the village. When he arrived, he found Mr. Domen sitting under a large old tree. The man was calmly sipping tea, enjoying the gentle breeze. The environment felt peaceful, almost magical, as if time moved slower in that place. Rayan hesitated for a moment, feeling nervous, but then he gathered his courage and walked forward. "Hello, sir," he said politely. The old man looked up, smiled warmly, and replied, "Hello, young man. What brings you here?" Rayan sat down and, without holding anything back, shared his story. He talked about his long working hours, his desire to grow, his slow financial progress, and the frustration that had been building inside him. He spoke about his confusion, his lack of direction, and his hope that someone could guide him. When he finally finished, there was a moment of silence. Mr. Domen looked at him carefully, then asked a simple but powerful question. "Tell me, Rayan, why do you always stop when things become difficult?" Rayan lowered his head slightly and answered honestly, "Because I lose motivation."
The old man nodded slowly. "That," he said calmly, "is your biggest mistake." Rayan looked up, surprised. Mr. Domen continued, "Money does not grow because of motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. It is like a guest. It visits, but it never stays."
He paused for a moment, then added, "But discipline is different. Discipline is like family. It stays with you, even when you don't feel like continuing." Those words hit Rayan deeply. For the first time, he began to understand something important. Seeing his attention, the mentor smiled and said, "Before I teach you how to make money work for you, let me tell you a short story." Rayan leaned forward, listening carefully. "This," Mr. Domen began, "is the story of a clockmaker. Many years ago, there was a man who decided to build a giant wooden clock for his entire village. It was an ambitious idea, and people were curious at first. Every day they saw him working, cutting wood, shaping parts, assembling pieces. But something strange happened. For months, the clock didn't tick even once. People began to laugh at him. They mocked his efforts. They said he was wasting his time and energy on something useless. But the clockmaker didn't respond. He didn't argue. He didn't quit. Instead, he continued working quietly. Every morning, he fixed one small gear. Every evening, he carefully oiled one tiny part. Day after day, step by step, without rushing, without stopping. To the villagers, it looked like nothing was changing. But in reality, everything was slowly coming together. But inside the clock, something incredible was taking place. Even though nothing seemed to change on the outside, every tiny movement, every small adjustment was slowly building towards something greater. Then one day, everything changed. The clockmaker carefully placed the final gear into position. For a brief moment, there was silence, and then, tick. A sharp, clear sound broke the stillness. Then another. Tick, tick, tick. The clock had finally come to life. It began to move smoothly, perfectly, as if it had always been alive. From that day forward, it continued ticking, hour after hour, day after day, for many years without ever stopping. The villagers who once laughed at him stood in silence, amazed. The mentor smiled gently and looked at Rayan. "Do you understand now," he asked softly, "why the clock worked?" Rayan thought for a moment, then slowly nodded. "It wasn't because of one big action, was it?" The old man smiled. "Exactly. It was not one grand effort, but hundreds of small, consistent actions. That is how real success is built." He leaned slightly forward and added, "Wealth works the same way." Rayan felt a shift inside him. The story was simple, yet its meaning was powerful, almost life-changing. The mentor continued, "Now I will teach you how to make your money work for you, but you must listen carefully." He raised his hand slightly. "There are 7 steps, and you must follow them with patience and discipline." Rayan took a deep breath, his eyes focused and determined. "I'm ready," he said. The old man nodded. "Step 1. Save money. You cannot build anything without a strong foundation. No matter how small your income is, always save a part of it. Even a few coins matter." He paused, then said, "Drops become rivers." Step 2. Avoid showing off. Do not waste your hard-earned money trying to impress others. Fancy phones, expensive bikes, unnecessary luxuries. These things may look good for a moment, but they destroy your future wealth. Step 3. Look for opportunities. Passive income is not rare. It exists everywhere, around you, online, in your community. Talk to people, observe carefully. Ideas are already out there. You just need to notice them. Step 4. Start small.
Do not wait for the perfect plan. There is no perfect time. Start with what you have, even if it is very little. He looked directly at Rayan and said, "When you start, you learn. When you wait, you lose time." Step 5. Reinvest your profits. Do not consume everything you earn. Do not eat your seeds. He smiled slightly. Plant them again. Let them grow into something bigger. Step 6. Build multiple sources of income. Once one income becomes stable, do not stop. Create another, and then another. He pointed toward a tree nearby. Even a tree grows many branches. Never depend on only one source. Step 7. Stay patient and keep learning. Money grows slowly in the beginning, very slowly. And that is where most people give up. He paused for a moment, then said firmly, "You must not quit in the slow stage." Rayan listened carefully. Every word felt important. Every sentence carried weight. For the first time in a long time, he felt hopeful. But suddenly a heavy thought crossed his mind, a fear he could not ignore. He hesitated, then asked quietly, "What if I fail?" The mentor looked directly into his eyes. "You will fail," he said calmly. Rayan froze for a second. "Everyone fails," the old man continued. "Failure is not the end. It is part of the process." He leaned back slightly and added, "But there are two kinds of people, those who fail and continue, and those who fail and quit." A gentle smile appeared on his face. The ones who continue become masters, and the ones who quit become memories. Rayan felt those words deeply. The old man took a sip of tea, then said, "Let me tell you something personal, Rayan, my own story. When I started my journey, I had almost nothing. No big money, no strong connections, just a small amount of savings and a big desire to succeed. I tried many different businesses. Some worked, but many failed." He looked into the distance, remembering the past. "There were times when people cheated me, times when I trusted the wrong partners." He sighed softly. "Once, a business partner ran away with all my money." Rayan's eyes widened. "I felt angry. I felt broken. I felt lost. But I did not give up." The old man continued, "I failed again and again and again. I lost money. I made mistakes. I doubted myself many times. There were moments when I wanted to quit everything." He paused, then smiled slightly. "But each failure taught me something valuable. So instead of stopping, I kept going, little by little, step by step, day by day. I trusted the process. I trusted myself. And slowly, very slowly, my small efforts began to grow." His voice became calm and confident. "And today, my money works for me. I earn even when I am resting." The old man looked directly at Rayan, his eyes calm yet full of wisdom, and said, "Rayan, if you truly want to succeed in life, then you must do exactly what I did." He paused for a moment, letting his words sink in. "Trust yourself, start small, stay consistent, and most importantly, learn from your mistakes." He leaned slightly forward and added, "Failure is not the end of your journey. It is simply a step along the path to success." Rayan felt something shift deep inside his heart. For the first time, failure no longer felt like something to fear. It felt normal, acceptable, even necessary. He realized that success was not about never falling. It was about getting back up every single time.
A quiet sense of hope began to grow within him. That day, he made a promise to himself. No matter what happens, I will keep going. It wasn't just motivation this time. It was something stronger, something deeper, a fire built on discipline. That very week, Rayan decided to take action. No more waiting, no more overthinking. He started small. Using the little savings he had, he began a tiny side business, selling homemade snacks in the evenings after finishing his job at the grocery store. The beginning was not easy. In fact, it was uncomfortable. During the first few days, no one stopped by. No customers, no sales. People passed him without even looking. Some even laughed quietly. Others said things like, "Look at him. He thinks he's a businessman now." Each word felt heavy. Each night, as he returned home tired and disappointed, the thought of quitting came back stronger than ever. But then, he remembered the story of the clockmaker. The clock did not tick on the first day. It did not tick on the second day. It came to life only after countless small, unseen efforts. So Rayan made a decision. He would not stop. Not this time. He continued showing up every evening, same place, same effort, same belief. Days passed. Then one evening something small but important happened. A woman stopped by and bought 6 packets of his snacks. She smiled and said they were delicious. The next day, she told her neighbors. And suddenly, 3 new customers came. Then more. A week later, he had 7 regular buyers. It wasn't a huge success, but it was real. It was progress, and that was enough. Instead of spending the little profit he made, Rayan followed the mentor's advice. He reinvested it. He improved his packaging, making it cleaner and more attractive. He introduced a new flavor. And eventually, he bought a small stand to display his products better. Slowly, step by step, his business began to grow. The same people who once laughed at him stopped laughing. Some even became curious. They started asking, "How did you begin?" With growing confidence, Rayan didn't stop there. He remembered another lesson: multiple sources of income. So he took another small step. He created a simple online listing service for grocery delivery in his area. At first it was slow, very slow. But just like before, he stayed consistent. Weeks turned into months, and little by little his income started to grow. Not loudly, not suddenly, but quietly, steadily. Just like the giant clock. Then one afternoon, as Rayan sat down counting his weekly earnings, something unexpected happened. His hands paused. His eyes filled with tears. Not because of the money, but because of the realization. He finally understood the truth. Success is not a sudden spark. Success is a slow, steady burn. A few days later, he returned to visit the mentor. With a humble smile, he said, "Sir, my money is finally starting to work for me." The old man smiled gently and shook his head. "No, Rayan," he said calmly. "It is not your money that has changed. It is you. You are the one who is finally working the right way," he added. "Money always follows discipline." Rayan stood there silently, absorbing every word. As he walked back home that day, he felt different. Not loud, not excited, but calm, strong, unshakable. He had discovered something most people never truly understand. Motivation may give you movement, but discipline gives you direction. And direction is what builds real wealth.